welcome to the Must Love Yarncast. It is December 31st. And if you haven't already looked at the date, it's 123 today. 123.
It's the 31st.
Right.
Oh.
123.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I thought it was a palindrome, actually, because I was thinking about the 31st being the last, but yes.
Yes. So it's New Year's Eve, and our normal record day would be tomorrow, the 1st, and Jen and I decided to give ourselves the day off. So we're...
For the first time in 8 years.
First time in 8 years, we are taking tomorrow off. And we just felt like we wanted to stay home. So we're squeezing this in today before the store opens at noon.
It's a must-love yarn day for yours truly.
Must-love yarn day. Yep. So we have the New Year's Eve cast-on party tonight. So I guess thank you to everybody that attended that. You don't know who you are yet, but thank you. We are sure it was fun.
And hopefully you saw my post this morning that I thought was very humorous about letting the yarn ball drop.
Because that happens frequently in my house. Sometimes it's me, and sometimes it's my dog catapulting it off of wherever it's sitting with her tail. So
yeah,
it's a different kind of ball drop.
It seemed like a good New Year's Eve reference.
Yes, that was funny. I did appreciate that. It's a good fun. So welcome. We are... a yarn cast, and we're bringing this to you from our yarn shop in Shelburne, Vermont. We're back to our new backdrop,
multicolor
backdrop, because the store is closed
with some new stuff actually.
Yeah, so we were able to sit out here in the section of the store and have fun, pretty yarn for our backdrop.
Yes,
unlike a couple weeks ago where we could only squeeze this in when the store was open and had to be back to our other table with a white backdrop. So here we are in full color again. And you can find the store out on social media as Must Love Yarn. World Wide Web is Must Love Yarn. We do have an online store
where we're happy to sell you things.
And ship them to you.
I was going to say most things. There's a few things that are here in the store that are not.
A few of the consignment stuff, but we're getting most of those up on the website for online purchase, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
So very exciting for you too, because then if we show something, you have the ability to buy it. So, and I'm Angela.
I'm Jen.
You can find me on social media, Instagram and Ravelry as Junior Bird Kid.
And you can find me on Ravelry as J. Arbuckle and on Instagram as Jennifer_Arbuckle.
Yep. And feel free to follow or friend us on those platforms. That's my personal page, so you're going to see other stuff. If you want just yarn and fiber content, knitting, crocheting content, the store is the place to be for that. The store Instagram account or Facebook page.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we like to start our yarn cast with our yarn cast pick. And we have chosen kind of a cool yarn for all of you. Folks seem to be really into knitting with natural fibers, non-superwash style fibers. And so we have really upped our selection of the Shetland Light. And so that's going to be our yarn cast pick for folks this week. Look at all those colors. It's amazing.
It's quite a few.
And so this is this is Queensland. This is Shetland Light. It's organic Shetland wool. These are 50-gram skeins. So they're a little bit smaller, 315 yards. So it's a light fingering for sure.
Yeah.
These retail for $9.99 a piece. So great for like color work type sweaters, or mittens or hats, or if you don't need like a full skein.
Yeah.
These little 50-gram skeins are really helpful for that. But also, you could make a great full sweater out of this with this yardage.
It's a really great price point.
Yeah, really great. Recommended needle size is a US 1 to 3, so it is definitely on the lighter side. of fingering weight yarns, but there's a lot of great patterns out there for the Shetland Light.
And they bloom because of the.
Oh yeah, it's just
Yeah.
gorgeous. Definitely, this is not a superwash. This is, you could spit splice this. Since you all know
That's
I'm
a selling point.
obsessed with that. Less ends to weave in.
That's right.
But this is a great, and you can see we have a really wide variety of colors here.
Oh, they're beautiful. Lots of neutrals and then some really beautiful pops.
Yeah. And so, the way this works is we're going to give you a coupon code, and for 2 weeks following the airing of this podcast, this would be January 5th to whatever 2 weeks after that is. Sorry, my brain is just
19th.
not doing the math. The 19th, you get 10% off in store or online with the code that we are going to give you, which is YP Shetland.
Sure.
Okay.
I think it normally retails for $9.99, which
Yep.
is a great price point all by itself.
Yeah,
But getting 10% off is never bad.
that's true. Absolutely. Who doesn't like to save a little money on things? So, and
Right.
yes, we have, like I said, a lot of colors here. You can do some great color work stuff with that.
Yeah.
So, happy knitting or crafting, crocheting.
It's so lovely. It's got a
It's-
really
yeah,
nice
it's a
feel
really
to
nice.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little,
I've done a couple things with
it's
it.
a little
really nice.
rusticy feeling, but it's one of these ones
really
that
soft,
blooms
though.
nice
Yeah.
and softens the more
Yeah.
you sort of get it in water and
Yeah.
knit it up.
There's a little.
There's a bunch of those that do that.
and it has a really nice color blend to it. A little heathery.
Yeah, and some of these are definitely more heathery than others. Like this has
Yeah.
a bunch of different
Yeah.
colors in it. Some are more solid, but
It's a great substitution for like Jameson's or
Yeah.
other things that you might use for Farrell sweaters.
Yep, absolutely. And so I'm gonna start because what I'm wearing is not also a finished object. And you've got both. So that'll like transition us into like, two different categories. So I'm wearing my Danny sweater. This is a pattern by This Bird Knits. It's color work. It's got stripes on the back with the same sort of colors. The armholes are steeked, so there's some different techniques that one uses. It's a DK weight sweater, meant to use sort of like the spin cycle style yarn that does the color shifts. I used Feederbrick because I happen to have a large amount of that yarn in my stash, thanks to Rhinebeck and other
As do I.
purchasing
Yes.
things.
Yeah.
So if you're looking to do some, to maybe try a steek, like this is just an armhole steek, so it's a little maybe not as scary. Though I will say the armholes
You gotta
found are a little
around it.
fiddlier than like a front cardigan
Where you're,
steek,
like,
actually, where it's
cutting
just
all the way
straight.
through. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the in the round is a little bit of its own thing versus the cardigan.
Like
But
how
it's
far to go.
it's a fun pattern. Again, dots and stripes, so it kind of showcases the yarn in a couple different ways. It's got a nice little split hem.
Is it knit in pieces?
It is not. It's knit in the round.
Oh, okay. Yep, you probably said that.
Yep, and
I was
once you
looking
get
for
down
pictures.
here, it's
Yeah.
It's not, but the sweater itself is knit in the round.
So that
hence
keeps the colors consistent.
The steek. Yep. For the
Across. Yeah. That was one of the things I was thinking about with tessellated, is that the colors weren't going to be the same
in the front and the back.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and in this it's consistent because you are knitting in the round.
And you're steeking.
And
right.
steeking.
Right. So you knit all the way in the round to here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't start. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And only you shift to here like when you do the shoulder over to solid colors.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So and Jen.
Garden Gate.
Ta-da!
It's done. It's I was telling Ange, I tried it on before I started there's short rows at the bottom and the back and then the ribbing, and I picked it up on a whim to bring to Maine with me because I was looking for something to knit, which is a whole story in a second. But, and of course, and I thought I was at the easy point, so and it's a little shorter than I would like, but it's okay. I do have some yarn left, but not a lot.
Not a huge amount.
No, it's more than you think, but it's I mean, it would only be a couple more rows probably.
Right.
And so I don't know that it's worth it to take it all out. Also, it has not been blocked yet, although it's showing up pretty nicely on the camera, but it has not been blocked. And so I do think once I block it,
It's
it's
gonna
going to drape.
drop.
So, and it's not terrible actually. It depends on what you're wearing, I think. Because otherwise it fits really well.
It
So-
looks good.
Yeah,
like
so
it.
I'm excited to have that done. And it's just been sitting there with like this much short rows and some ribbing left
Yeah.
to do for a long time. So I thought, well, that'll be easy. And of course, I brought it with me and I did the short rows and then I went to transition to the smaller needles and was like, oh, those aren't in the bag. I don't have the tips. I thought all the tips were in my knitting bag, but I must have taken them out to use for something else while it's been sitting.
Totally what happens this time of year
Oh, it's
is
just a nightmare.
needles get pilfered from everywhere. Yes, and you
Yes.
can never find the needles
That's
that you
exactly
need.
right.
And then you buy more needle tips, and then you end
Yeah.
up with like 7 pairs of US 7s, and
Yeah.
you're like, where did all these come from?
Yeah.
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 So I'm going to do my 2 finished objects, my other 2 finished
Yeah.
objects, because they're not here to share because they have been gifted. But I did finish my
tessellated.
my tessellated for my sister. All right. So I have some pictures that are in my project page.
We'll link to it too, so
yeah.
you can see.
It did look
It's
nice.
gorgeous.
I haven't actually seen her try it on yet, and she did seem excited about it. But
It's so nice.
so that is done. And then the other one I don't even have a finished picture of was the socket slouch hat I was making for my brother-in-law, which I finished on Christmas Eve here at the store.
Yay!
And he put it on almost as soon as he took it out of the package and seems to be happy with it. So
Amazing.
yes,
Awesome.
done. Yes.
Nice.
So I may or may not ever have a picture of that, but you saw it when it was a good chunk of
Almost
the way
done.
through. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Almost all the way done.
yeah. I would like a picture for the page, but there may not be one.
Sometimes there's not. This time of year, I have lots of like half finished objects on finished project pages because
Yes.
I'm just like, I forgot to take a
They
picture.
went in the package and out the door.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're family. It's not like I can't make
Right.
them pose for me.
Right.
God knows they
After.
have before.
Right? Like, send me a picture.
hmm
When you put it on them, send me
Well,
a
mine
picture.
live nearby, so I can actually go and
Do
I
it
could
yourself.
probably coerce him when I go pick up eggs this afternoon
There you go.
to putting on his hat.
So check the link to see if Jen has gotten a picture of her brother-in-law.
Maybe
in
I'll
a
make my
hat.
sister try on her vest. Hopefully it even fits.
There you go.
So
So check out those links
see.
to see if we have project
we'll see.
photo updates
Yeah. But
before Friday.
they got finished. The sweater even got blocked. The
Amazing.
hat did not.
I mean, hats, even color with hats.
it's fine. That was just straight socket,
Yeah.
but the vest definitely needed it, and it did look much nicer.
And the ribbing part laid down once it was
yes,
blocked and
yes, it did.
was plain nicer.
Yes, although
Yeah.
I was all set to steam the heck out of it. So, but I did not
Yeah.
need to. Yes, it was flat.
Good.
So
So I teased you all yesterday with a post about how close I was to finishing Field Sweater. 15 rows left, I think was the post, and it was only because that was the point I was at, and then we were leaving to go to a hockey game, and so I wasn't sure if I was actually going to be able to finish it before this morning, but I did power through. The knitting is done. Ends have not been woven in. It's not been blocked. And I stayed up way too late just finishing those 15 rows to just get it done.
it
So
looks great.
the Field Sweater is done.
So pretty.
It has long sleeves because I did not run out of yarn this time. And I have tried it on when I finished the first sleeve, and it actually fits really nicely. And again, it's not blocked, so it will.
Oh, you just had to finish the sleeves. The body was done.
Yeah, the body
When you
was
said
done.
15 rows, I thought you meant at the body because
yeah.
that's how I was doing this sweater. So my brain automatically
No.
went there.
Well, I had the
15 rows of
sleeve
sleeve.
out with
Yeah.
the needle.
Well,
on
I
the
glanced
sleeve.
at it quickly.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I read the
only
post.
had
I read the words
15
underneath it. Like
I know.
I think
I had
that's
15
the
rows of sleeve number 2 to do.
Oh, I
not.
understand.
Yeah.
Hold it up close so they can see the color work.
The
'cause
color
it's so
work
pretty.
is just delightful. So that
Yeah.
color work is done with mohair. And I used a skein of yarn that sort of fades, color shifts. And so there's a little bit of color shift that's happening in.
Although the bulk of it really is in the dark. Yeah.
I mean, you can't really tell till you get up close that
Here
it's
you can sort of see it
really
on the
dark
sleeve a
up
little
here,
bit. Yeah.
and then it starts to lighten up as you get down to the ends, which is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
It was a fun pattern. I enjoyed it a lot. The yarn is delightful to work with. It's bare naked wools. It's a merino alpaca blend,
So
and it's
soft.
gonna bloom a huge amount when it hits the water. Once I get these ends and stuff woven in. So if you remember, I bought an extra skein of yarn because I wasn't sure, and I didn't want to play yarn chicken with this sweater if I was gonna make the investment. Bare Naked is not inexpensive yarn, and so I didn't want to have another Aveeno issue where I
Crisis.
was like, great, now I have to do short sleeves because I ran out of yarn. So it was for not, here's my extra skein of yarn.
And you have like,
And I
half
have
to three
probably
quarters.
half to 3/4 of another. So,
that's all right. Something beautiful will
right.
come.
Yeah, I already have some thoughts. I need to weigh this one and see how much I
Yeah.
have. But it's a, DK weight neutral color. So it's not probably enough for,
It
like a
depends.
vest.
If
of
you
some
wanted to use
sort.
it, we were talking about using it in
For
tessellated.
tessellated.
So you could use it not as your main color,
Oh,
because I used less of the Feederbrook than I did of the main color. The main color gets knit on almost every
Yeah.
row all the way through.
yeah.
The other one's your, alternating rows.
Yeah.
So you use less of the other one. My amounts are in my,
Okay.
and the size that I made are in my
Okay.
project
I'll have
page.
to take a look at that. But this yarn is so delightful. It
So
would
it'd be
make
kind
a
of
great,
fun to have
it
it
would make a
be-
great cowl.
Mhm.
It would make a great hat.
Yeah.
Some mitts. Like
Yeah.
it's not going to go to waste.
Mm-mm.
But I'm not sure that I have enough to use it for tessellated for my size.
You might,
I might.
depending,
I'll
yeah.
have to weigh and then see how
And
much
again, you
yarn
could-
chicken I want to play.
Well, you could,
I could choose to do the ribbing
That's what I was-
in a different color.
well, that would become your main color. Whatever you use for the ribbing is what is the one you use the most of.
Yeah, but I don't have to do.
No, you
I
don't.
could
Although,
use 4 colors.
no, you could for sure. But it doesn't really matter, is what I'm
Right.
saying. When you look at where the checks are
Yeah.
in the body of the sweater,
Yeah.
it's just that the ribbing and the other things. It's just that the main color is held all the way through, and then it's
Yeah.
used for the edges.
I mean,
So-
maybe I could use this instead of mohair. I mean, the mohair is nice.
or you could
but
just use it instead of the multicolor color
I
changing
know,
one.
but I have so much Feederbrook that I was like, I'm going to use
yeah.
Feederbrook for that.
Well, you could use that with it, and then just not use mohair.
Yeah.
There's 3,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
Anyway, choices.
I have
Lots of
options.
choices.
Options.
Yeah.
So that project's done. I was trying to clear my needles so I could get
Cast
ready
on.
for our cast on party tonight,
Right.
which is the next sweater.
That's
up.
right. I do have some webs. One
Okay,
whip.
awesome. I do too. So
Yeah, so before we go to the
to the what's
to be
coming up,
cast on, yes.
Yeah. which
Um,
is
So this is really somewhat. Oh my god! Come on. Seriously.
really.
There you
Ah,
go.
I got that one on. That's fine.
So, last Sunday, Christmas Eve, I finished the hat, and I was like, "Oh, I have a week of like whatever knitting until we start 15 projects on New Year's Eve weekend."
Right.
And I thought to myself, I could start my Polar Arc socks,
Hmm.
which I started to do, and then I got distracted, and there was enough people coming in and out of the store that it was not a good place for me
Right.
to start them because I have to get the
And
toes
just
going.
as little side note, if you haven't seen, there's a top-down version
Yeah.
of Polar Arc that has been released.
Yeah, so I have the yarn and the pattern, and I thinking, but it also didn't strike me as like the easy knit while I was gone.
Right.
So, just for fun, I bought myself 2 little balls of cashmere.
Oh,
Yes.
nice.
Cardiff cashmere, which we sell
So-
here in the
so
store.
lovely.
Of course, our tag is over the thing, but so that's Cardiff cashmere. And I bought myself the Field Mitts
Yep.
pattern
Yep. Because there's
because I thought,
a bunch of her patterns.
yeah,
have been on sale. I think the sale
Yeah.
ends today, which is the 31st. So by the time you hear this, if you didn't know about it, it'll be too late.
So I have to say, so I thought, well, that'll be fine. I'll
Yeah.
start the cuff, and then I can just knit on those while I'm gone because
Yeah.
they're small and easy.
Right. But
I hated knitting them.
oh,
So I got the cuff done, which is a long cuff, and this is not what this is, but I'm getting there. So I had double points. I didn't buy, I think those would be easier done with Magic Loop.
Mhm.
So I tried to start them. And of course, the pattern, once you get to the pattern part, it's not hard, but unless you have really sharp needles,
right,
it's a pain.
right. Because that wheat stitch is.
And
yeah.
lately, everything I've been knitting is a little bit bigger, so I went down a needle size. So I was knitting on a size 2 instead of the 3 or whatever that she called for, or maybe it's a 2.5. And so where you have to go through the 2 stitches and the yarn over
Yeah.
in the middle, like
Yeah.
getting the needle through there
Yeah.
on tiny little double points,
Yeah.
was not fun.
It was fiddly enough on this sweater.
On the
and
bigger
some
size.
of those you have to go through like 5 of them. And
Yeah.
That's just
So
crazy.
then I got really angry, and I thought, well, not angry, but just frustrated.
Right.
And I thought, well, when I go home, I didn't have the right size 2 interchangeables do not exist. So yeah, I needed to buy another needle, which I did on Friday on my way home and from here. So I went home that night and thought, well, I'm going to pull it back to the top of the cuff and I'm going to do it again.
Yeah.
This will be better, brand new needles, like
Right.
Magic Loop instead of like 14 little needles that I'm trying to balance with.
Right. No.
Nope. So I gave up and I pulled them out and I started over with a different pattern.
Which, you know what, folks, sometimes
I just decided
it's
it was just
totally fine.
there's one row that's miserable and 3 rows that are fine.
Right.
And then one row that's miserable. And I
Right.
was like, oh my God, like the
Why?
whole mitten is just
Yeah.
going to make me so cranky that
Right.
I'm not going to enjoy it.
Right.
And so
Right.
sometimes you make that decision. And so
To
instead,
yeah.
come on, here we go. I am making the Interwoven Mitts by Katie H. Carroll.
Cute.
Yeah, but I'm making them a little bit shorter. So they have a simple little cable. They're lovely.
Nice.
That's the pattern. And, you know, in
Yeah.
a few hours,
So nice.
yes, and soft and yeah. Anyway, so sometimes, like now that you're an adult, when you're reading a book
If you
and you're
don't
not
like
enjoying it, you should put it
What
away
I decide.
and not do it.
Right.
So
Exactly.
that's what we're doing.
Is the same way.
Yeah. I was sad because it's such a pretty pattern
Mhm.
and I could see but unless you've got like razor sharp needles, I'm just saying.
Yeah. And
Because what happened, like I missed one of the things, so I
Yeah.
had a drop stitch in the
Oh, yeah.
middle of the grain
Yeah.
and I was like, I'm
yeah.
not dealing
and
with this.
I'm not gonna
impressed.
lie. It's and I was also having to catch the yarn and the mohair,
Mhm.
and that was also at times challenging because
yeah.
like you had to make sure you had everything on there.
Yeah.
But this was slightly bigger needles.
Yeah.
And but
Yeah.
yeah, that some of those
Yeah.
rows were pretty fiddly.
I would certainly recommend doing it on Magic Loop instead of double
Yes.
points because you need to have less things that can fall out of the stitches while
Yeah.
you're working on them
Yeah.
and unless you've got super sharp needles,
Right.
it's because the yarn over gets pulled really tight to the needle,
Yeah.
so you can't see it
Right.
because it's in between the other 2 stitches.
Right.
So anyway,
Yeah.
I am very impressed by all the people who have done that pattern and enjoyed it, and now I
Most
know
of us have done it on the sweater.
I will
though,
not
right?
be
Like-
making the sweater because I
Mhm.
don't know that I have the energy for that. But anyway, so not a lot of knitting while I was gone because I didn't have the right needles for one thing, and I got frustrated with the other needles for the other thing. So we'll just putter along on those little mitts, but they'll be nice and warm.
So I cast on a fingerless mitt as
did you?
well. Yeah.
Now you're going to pull them out and you'll be like, look, I made...
No, I've one done. Well, one
No, I meant
partially done.
you.
Oh.
I have my field mitts right
Oh
here.
yeah, no. This is a pattern called
A clun.
Cloudberry. by Amy Christophers. It's a free Barocco pattern. Pattern's meant to be knit
Those are
in
nice colors.
ultra alpaca,
Mm-hmm.
which we don't have, which is a worsted weight
Mhm.
yarn. So I just use some Rowan.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great little fun color work
Yeah.
pattern. It doesn't have thumbs yet. You can see there's
Yeah.
a little, we're putting an afterthought thumb
Mhm.
there.
I like those colors you chose.
Thank you. So just fun, really quick. I knit all of this in like one day.
Really.
Yeah, it was a day when maybe I had a little bit more knitting time. But yeah, it was very quick, very potato chippy because you do one
Yeah.
color repeat, put in the thumb, and then do a second one.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of were like, ooh, I'm gonna just keep going.
Yeah,
Sometimes that color work's really addictive.
Mm-hmm. What weight is that?
Worsted weight.
Oh, okay, that's why.
Yeah.
Because I knit quite
yeah.
a bit yesterday on those little mitts after I
Yeah.
took them all apart. So I was like, wow, one day.
Right. Yeah. No, worsted.
You knit a lot
worsted
faster than I
weight.
do, and then I was like, oh, okay, that's why.
I have the cuff done for the second one, and then
Mm-hmm.
realized also that I was out and didn't have the right size needles to switch over to the larger one. So I was like, well, I guess that's gonna wait.
You'll notice that those mitts that I was knitting on do not have ribbing. They're just like the pattern all the way up.
Yeah.
And so one needle size all the way through.
I'm also kind of fighting. My cord, I think, is a little bit too long for the magic loop. Sometimes the cord can be too long, and
Yeah.
I've been fighting with it because it's probably should be the next size down, but that's what I had, so that's what it is. And it's a little thing. If it was like a hat or something,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be as big of a deal because it would use up more cord. But I'm
Yeah.
not using very much cord.
I know. I
Little
had a
mitts,
thought that I
so,
probably didn't need as long of a cord, but this was the one. I have the same issue where
Yeah.
the cord is
like
super
really
long.
long and kind of.
It keeps getting tangled up.
Sometimes it loops over itself.
These are
and, like, it's,
interchangeable.
like,
I could put a shorter cord on, but did I
No.
yesterday? No.
no.
Because it's actually, once the needles pull through, it's not
Yeah, it's
bad.
fine.
It's kind of the right length. And
It's
sometimes if
just-
you're too short,
Yeah, it's getting the cord to behave itself. Really,
it's all about balance.
and twisted in the right direction and
Yeah.
things. So, this was just a fun little. When I took my kid to the pool earlier last week, Thursday,
Mhm.
for a couple of hours.
Right, because swimming as an adult does not seem exciting when it's 35 degrees and damp out.
No, I was not going to, and I knew there was going to be lifeguards, and I knew there were going to be friends there, and so I opted to just bring her and turn her loose.
Mm-hmm.
And I sat for a couple of hours and worked on some knitting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, and got a lot of curious stares. Apparently, knitting in public is still
At the pool.
at the pool. It's a little bit of an anomaly.
It still causes people to pay attention.
Yes,
Mhm.
particularly kids who haven't seen somebody
Yeah.
do that before. But I'm also
Yeah.
surprised at the number of adults.
Well, they're bored to tears because they don't have anything to do.
They're all on their phones.
No, but right,
Yeah.
right. But that's but even that, like after a while, you run out of things unless you're reading. But you run out of things to look at on your phone.
I suppose.
So
Yeah. So anyway, knitting.
yeah.
Yay, knitting.
All right. All I've got
So-
left now is like
Upcoming.
prepared.
I have to wind some yarn.
I don't.
You're all ready to go.
I am ready.
I look at that cone of yarn. Well, you didn't have to wind that. That was already wound.
I had to wind this, but I did that a long time ago. And this also comes.
Already
Won't
wound.
this be fun?
That is going to be fun. Sparkle fish. Can't wait.
Coming to you soon.
How
Fish.
about
The fish.
the fish?
Sorry, there's an extra piece of fiber on the table here. So I'm excited. Of course, tonight you won't actually see anything.
Right, because it's just going to be the top
Turquoise,
part.
so.
Yeah.
However, I'm going to be good, and I'm trying to remember, last time we did this cast on party thing, I found it was very distracting to try to cast on and talk to people, blah, 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 at the beginning. So I'm having a theory that I might cast it on
Before we log in.
and get it joined so that
Yeah.
it's ready to go.
Yeah.
So I can just,
Mhm.
well, I'm chit-chatting.
Yeah.
Get less done than you think you're going to.
No, it's true. I'm going to stick with Birkin. I think I've already shown the yarn for this before. because I just couldn't get my act together. And I did look at some
I'm
of the
so glad
other
you're using that. Yeah.
fingering
I
weight
think that'll be
yarn
pretty.
sweaters, and nothing was sort of singing to me like this. So I have this
Yeah.
Earl Grey fiber. This
Mhm.
is their Assam sock. So it's 100% superwash BFL. These 150 gram skeins. So I have 2 of them. I have a lot of yarn.
Mm-hmm.
I might have to do 3/4 sleeves. We'll see.
That's a nice, When Doves Cry is the
When
name of the
Doves
color.
Cry.
I like that name.
Yes. And then I have for the color work this really awesome sparkle yarn from
Which reminds me that I have a whole
CC.
sweater's worth of worsted weight yarn, not sparkly. but-
Yes. So this was her Rhinebeck colorway, but I
Mhm.
love the sparkles. It's got the green. It's like green sparkles, almost the same as what
Yeah.
Jen's gonna use.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna use this for the color work portion for Birkin. So instead of doing multiple different colors, I'm gonna do one color, but this will
It's a
shift
sparkly
around.
New Year's Eve cast on.
Sparkly New Year's Eve cast on times 2. We're both.
That's
doing.
right. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So it's gonna be.
You
It's gonna be
too
fun.
could add some
You
sparkle to your
too
sweater.
could
You can cast on the neck, and then you
sparkle.
can come in and buy some Stellina for your color work.
Right? Super fun. Mine just happens to have it in the yarn already.
Yeah.
Which I'm pretty excited about.
Yeah.
I actually have no idea how much yarn this is. I have 2 of these, and Jen has a 3rd one.
Oh, you have 2 already?
I have 2 already.
Okay. Yeah.
Which I think might be enough, but it's hard to tell. Can't
Yeah.
tell how much is actually in here.
Yeah, that's going to be really pretty.
Hopefully I don't run out even with 3.
I think with 3, you'd be more than enough.
2 I think is gonna be plenty.
What are they, 20 grams?
They gotta be at least 20 grams.
Oh, right, they're not labeled. We don't know.
It could be 25. I haven't weighed it.
We could weigh
They
them.
look bigger than 20
Yeah.
grams.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
I'd have no idea.
They might all be different. Also.
I don't know. So, watch me for more tips on how to just fly by the seat of your pants to see if this colorwork sweater is going to work or
That's
not.
right. Right.
I'm not even sure that's.
Yeah, kind of a
Fingering
beige
weight.
theme going on here.
I know, with bright purple colors.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. I guess that's my new neutral.
Right.
Brown gray.
It's a good color, though.
It is a good color.
Yeah, that's kind of the color I was thinking of for the Paul Klee sweater, which is the sweater's quantity that's sitting in, I don't know, the other room in my house.
Where you can't see
I don't
it.
have the
Where it's not sitting there mocking you. That you
That's
haven't
right. I
started
don't
it
have
yet.
the body yarn for that yet. So, and I think I have enough going on here already.
Yeah, because you've got your temperature
I
blanket.
have
thing
my
going,
temperature
right?
blanket. This yarn needs to be wound today. But
Yeah.
those are
She's ready to go.
it's ready to go. And also I have to do the math today,
Yeah.
probably, because tomorrow that gets cast on.
And there was a new temperature blanket released
Oh,
recently.
I missed it.
It's
that I'm
like
changing my
for
mind.
Aran weight, so you
Oh.
could probably use like bulky or worsted.
That'll be faster.
Yep, and it's one of the ones. It's like a garter stitch one, so you just knit a row with every color. Let me see if it's still coming up, or if
It's in the Hot 20 or whatever.
yeah, which it might be. I might have added it
They're
to
not open yet, people.
my favorites.
That would be smart. Is that what you were thinking about?
I did not
You
add
had
it to my favorites.
briefly talked about doing your own temperature blanket.
I know. I kind of feel
just
like
curious.
I'm just not gonna be able to
Yeah,
pull it off
fine.
at this point.
it's completely fine. There's always another year.
Or I could join late to the party. It's not.
Got to start keeping track of your temps, so that's
I
all.
know. I'm not seeing it in here right away. But anyway, just know there was a new one. Probably if I search for temperature, it would come up. But if you were looking for one,
Is it knitting?
it is knitting. 20, oh no, that's a mosaic one. There. Knit temperature blanket 2024. And she even did like the whole
Did the work for you.
work for you with the colors.
So like we have, I'm just looking at it right now. So we have Ultra Wool Chunky. That would
Yep.
be great for that.
Yep. So she
or
used
Remix Chunky would be really fun
Yep.
for that too.
Lion Brand Basic Stitch, which is like an Aran weight. She's using a US 8, so it's a little bigger, bigger needle. So anyway, so that's out. That was just released for this next year. It's a free pattern.
There's no one knows what it looks like. Is it just stripes?
I think it's just stripes. Yep. I don't know. I hadn't clicked in to find the pattern, but I'm gonna go with just stripes based on what I'm seeing here. And there is also a 2024 mosaic temperature blanket for DK weight. So there's
a lot of great choices out there.
Yeah, there's some new ones that have come out.
And there's obviously some beautiful crochet ones, like really, like obviously like the sort of stripes are, those blankets are available in both knitting or crochet. But some of the crochet ones with the little medallions, like all done in one color and then spread across the whole blanket, are really beautiful.
Yep.
It almost made me want to learn to crochet, but not really. This is the one I'm using as the basis, but I have 9 colors instead of just the 6 that she has shown. So, temperature blanket by Charlotte. Sorry, she has a complicated last name. Marjora Banks Designs. Sorry, Charlotte Marjora Banks Designs. It's in my project pages already, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I started something for it. I don't know, maybe. Let's just see. I might have. I did. It's up there, ready to go.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different ones.
Yeah. There's some really, it's very distracting, like to, there was one that Andra was doing from Barocco. Hers was squares as well. So for me, the idea of the square versus the stripe is that you're carrying around something that's, 12 inches square.
Right.
Per month, rather than like something that by 11 month is like enormous. This gargantuan thing that you can only work on a bed.
Right. Right.
So the downside is you have to hitch it together.
Right.
So there's that.
Right.
Yeah.
I did find a temperature snake, which
there are smaller
sort of
things.
Intrigued me.
You don't have to do a blanket. You could do a scarf. A lot of people just do scarves because then you're just knitting like a couple of those.
It's a crochet pattern, but it's a little.
Is it for like a
snake
door warmer?
Whatever. I don't know. I mean,
you know what I mean? Under the door.
You could use it for that, I guess. But it's just a cute little.
That is cute. You could do that.
Probably find scraps in my house to do that with. So anyway, so that's
there are some fun stuff out there.
It
does not have to be a humongous blanket.
Right.
Right. So mine will be roughly throw size, like 12 inches. So 3 by 4, I think. Yes, 12. So 3 feet by 4 feet, maybe. I don't know yet because I have to do the math. Because this is, of course, because you know how I roll. This is for fingering weight. So I have DK weight because I like the colors better. And I didn't really want to knit something that was fingering weight, frankly.
I mean, you could just go with a DK weight and just have a bigger blanket, bigger squares. Just follow the directions the same. It'll just be.
Well, it's like 80 some odd stitches, so I don't really want it to be.
I
don't think I want it to be that big.
Okay.
So that's the math I have to do this afternoon. We'll see how busy it is here.
Right.
Last Sunday, I thought it's Christmas Eve, like noon to 4. It's not going to be, but it wasn't as busy as it had been, but it was pretty busy. And right at 4 o'clock, like at 3:45.
You were like.
No, there was someone here. Yeah. Wanted to wind like 8 balls of yarn. I was like, really? Right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway. That'll be me at 4 o'clock as I'm winding all of that nonsense.
Right. But you can lock the door. And that's on your own time at that point.
Right.
So,
Right. Exactly.
So I think, we got some fun upcoming projects going on. Somebody did remind me that we have not pulled prizes yet for the fall
like 12 different things.
Knit along that we did. I clearly do not have my stuff together today to deal with that. So we'll pull those prizes next time.
We promise.
We promise.
We have to pinky swear or whatever.
Thank you for the reminder. Yes, we totally forgot.
Well,
about
I was
one.
making new knit along signs for the store, or craft along, or whatever we call them, fiber along things, and I was like, oh look, here are these 3 things that are supposed to be done.
We're sorry.
As I took them off the wall.
We're sorry.
Yes.
We'll go back and fix that, and we'll take care of that next podcast. Get our stuff together. We have our winter classes up, though I think a bunch of those are starting to fill. Like they feel like they've been really popular.
I think there's still spots.
Still some spots, but Don't wait
Yeah.
too long. The retreat registration is still open for that.
Mhm.
They'll probably be open for like another month,
Yeah.
would be my guess. And then at some point we have to give final numbers to the venue and
Yeah.
kind of have to lock down the registration. So,
Yeah.
but probably another good month or so.
We'll be
January.
posting more information
Yep.
about it this week.
Yep. You'll see some more about that.
Probably by the time this airs.
Yes, you will have seen some more posts. We have a few bearded pearl bags left.
Not many.
No, not too many. We've kind of been selling through them. So Caleb, chop chop, my friend. Just kidding.
Yes. Paris tweed.
Just kidding.
2 words for you.
But yeah, we still have a few of those. Those are all up on the website. So if you're not local, please feel free to go pop over and see what we still have. We will ship those to you.
We have a handful of each size, I think.
Yep.
And a variety of colors.
Yep. Yeah, the colors of Fall Cal is the one we need to pull pull prizes for. So yes, thanks for the reminder. And always feel free to just remind us, because sometimes we just are like, we're off to the next thing and ooh, shiny.
We are 6 months ahead.
Forgot.
Or at least
so,
6 days ahead at any given moment.
Yeah, right? So we have the Polar Arc Along, which clearly Jen and I are both participating in.
We're talking about it.
We are talking about it.
Anne's just been saying she's waiting for Top Down.
Waiting for Top Down. Top Down just got released, so
so that excuse was really good up until yesterday.
No, I know, but it just literally was
I'm just
released
kidding.
yesterday.
Right, exactly.
I think I might actually use my Advent yarn for that, because it's already broken into 2 cakes. So one, it's already round, and 2, it's already in 2 cakes. So I think,
and you'd be using it.
And I would actually be using it, which would be a miracle. So
Since you now have several Advents.
I think I'm up to 3.
Yes.
One's DK weight, but that might actually be a hat. So Polar Arc Along, and then the Caitlin Hunter Along, which starts tonight. So not too late to join. And it's any of her patterns. It doesn't have to be a sweater. She's got hats and all kinds of other stuff. In fact, that Alpine Bloom hat, I'm still eyeballing.
Yeah.
This would make a lovely Alpine Bloom hat with some Feederberg yarn. Or Spin Cycle. Actually, I have some Spin Cycle yarn.
I do too.
That I could use as well. Yep. So come join us. Hopefully we have seen you tonight. If not, join along. It'll be fun. And then beyond
and the
that,
temperature blanket will be in along. It's posted on Ravelry.
Yep, that's Jen's got.
But that's
that
a
one.
year long. You don't, as Ange said, you don't have to start now. You can just start keeping track of your temperatures, or you could go back and look at them retroactively on some temperature website.
They're out there.
People.
Yeah, people track that stuff.
That's right.
Scientists,
just for the knitters in the world who are
do
doing
it just for us.
That's right.
That's why they keep track of temperature.
That's right.
No. So I think hopefully everybody has had a great New Year's, because by the time this posts, it will be 2024. What?
Right. Right. And we'll be heading into our staff party next weekend.
Yes.
Excuse me. Tomorrow after this post.
Yeah, because we're doing it late after the holidays are over, which is fine.
Yeah, it's good.
It's the time that worked for everybody.
Yeah. Yes. So, I don't know. Might be quick this time.
Yeah. So I think about all we have. It's what happens when we do them every 2 weeks. They're normal length, like an hour instead of 90 minutes, because we have all kinds of stuff to catch up on.
You'd think there'd be all kinds of stuff to talk about, but kind of, it's not all knitting content. That's the thing.
No, I know.
When you're busy doing other things.
Yeah, it's been
in one's life.
It's been a busy couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Real busy.
Did you get any good gifts? I got some good stuff.
Yeah.
I got lots of watercolor related things.
Oh, nice.
And candle making supplies.
Ooh, that's fun.
Which was on my list, so that's exciting.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. The cheating kind, I will say.
Oh, yeah,
also.
no, I've thought about doing like soap making, but I would do the cheater soaps where you just buy the things from like Michael's that you melt down and add colors to.
Yeah, so it's funny. My sister. We have a Christmas list tradition in our house, in my family, where everybody has to make a Christmas list, ideally before Thanksgiving, or maybe even early November for those that buy early. Obviously, I'm not that person, but for the other planners in my family, you'd think, given that I plan for a living, that
I know. Sometimes do as I say, not as I do.
Right, exactly. Anyway, I made my Christmas list. I sent it to everyone. For some reason, my sister did not get it. I don't know why. As she admitted, my father sent it to her eventually. Her email was on there. It just didn't go to her for some reason. So,
The
but
great
she
mystery of the technological
I know.
universe.
But she had already, she was very proud of herself because she had bought most of my Christmas gifts by then, and most of them were on my Christmas list.
That's
so,
amazing.
yeah, she was very proud of herself for that. But anyway, so we'll see. I haven't tried them yet, but the siblings candle making thing, I don't know if you've seen that.
I haven't.
So it's called Siblings because it's a brother and a sister who
Okay.
formed the company, and they're like, they do, they're smelly. They already have a smell to them. The
Okay.
candle pieces come, and you can put them in any vessel, like a glass jar or a vase or whatever, and you put them in with the wick, and off you go.
Nice.
Apparently, it's that simple. We'll
Wow.
see. I have a bad habit of like, I'm going to recycle, old candle containers, because sometimes they come and they're in a nice glass
beautiful,
jar, and you're
yeah.
like, I don't
I'm
really
gonna
like.
throw this away.
It just seems crazy to throw
Right.
this away. So
I feel like
Gotta
there's
clean
a
'em
lot
up,
of
though.
like food containers
Yeah.
too that come with the screw-on.
you can use a
lids.
mason jar
like,
for these easily. Yeah.
Like I'm thinking like there's some of those mustard containers that
Yeah.
are like really cute shaped
Yeah.
with a little lid.
Mhm.
Like you could make a really nice candle out of that. Like,
Right,
that would
exactly.
be great for that.
Right. Exactly. So anyway,
I'm with you, and I'm like,
Okay,
I'm gonna
sure.
keep this, and then you get like 4 of them,
Oh
and
my
you're like,
God.
no, just
It's
recycle
like-
them. I cannot
Yeah.
have all this stuff in my
yeah,
house.
like those jelly jars.
Yep,
Sometimes
the
with the red. Mama.
mama.
Yes.
Yeah.
I make my own jelly most years, but not for the last year or so because I just haven't gotten around to it.
You're
But I like
those
those
would make
because-
great candle
Because I think
ones.
that there's a great mission. If you read the backstory for that company, it's a good story. But anyway, and I choose to believe the story. So
Yes.
please don't tell me if it's not true.
we eat a lot of that jam in my house.
Yeah.
I should start pulling those.
I have a whole box of them.
That would make great.
Because I think they're great for like leftovers and stuff like that
Yeah.
as well. And they have the red gingham lids, which I like.
thinking Holiday Bazaar.
Hmm
Holiday Bazaar
I
candles.
have a lot. Would you like some?
I might. I should go through my own recycling at my house and start pulling them out.
Hmm
That would be That
Yeah.
would be a good use for those.
Also, fun gifts for people for next year.
Mhm.
Now that I think about it,
Mhm.
yeah, I should write all this down because all of a sudden next November I'll be like,
Like,
what should I get for my girlfriends? What should
Right?
I get for whatever? Yeah.
Right. Nice.
My last little holiday, well, maybe not my last because that's not how we really work here, but I will say this. So after our previous conversation on this venue about my rediscovery of Bailey's every year
Oh,
at this
yeah.
time,
Yeah.
so I went looking for Vermont
You
Ice.
can find it.
So there are, as it turns out, there are 3 flavors.
Mhm.
There's apple cinnamon, which is
Mhm.
not as popular
Mhm.
as the maple creme, which is very popular, and I have not been able to sample it yet because I
Can't
went.
find it.
It is nowhere on the shelves. So I bought the coffee flavored one, which is delicious,
Yeah.
and I brought that to Maine with me, and we have corroborated amongst multiple people that it's delicious. So
It is.
I
And
would highly
the
recommend it for those that are looking for something that might be made in America.
maple cream is amazing.
I'm sure
and I
it's
think
amazing.
the fact that you can't find it right now is a testament to how popular it is.
I stopped.
It was
at-
also on sale. It's usually on sale between Thanksgiving and Christmas,
Well-
which might be why it flies off the shelves too.
No, I went to 2 different liquor stores and I asked at both of them, and they were like,
They
no.
gave you the face like, good luck.
"Yeah, yes." The
Yeah.
apple cinnamon one seems a little funny to me. I can't quite get my head wrapped around it.
It wasn't bad. I
If
have
it was
tried
mostly
it.
cinnamon, it would. But
It-
apple cinnamon.
It
seems a
wasn't.
little-
It wasn't bad. I have not tried the coffee one, but was it good? Is
Yes.
it like a nice Kahlua kind of?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not really strongly coffee flavored.
Okay.
I would not have known that it was coffee necessarily,
If
but
it
it's
hadn't had it on
delicious.
the label, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that bottle is finished.
Yeah,
Did not make it home with me
I
at
can
all.
imagine.
But luckily I bought a bottle of Bailey's at the same time just to be sure I was covered in case it was not as tasty as one would think. And so that will be there tonight.
We have almost finished our second bottle of the maple cream.
Yeah, so what did you do? Buy a case of it?
I bought. I feel like we always have it in the house, and
Oh.
so if I go to the liquor store and I see it's on sale, I will just buy a bottle of it. And so I've purchased since Thanksgiving a couple different bottles because when I would go in to buy something else, it would be on sale, and so I'd be like, "Oh, holidays are coming up! Like I'm gonna buy another bottle of this."
Right.
So
I'll look again on the way home, but we'll see.
But yeah, the one right down here.
I've already been there. I went there on Tuesday, the day after Christmas, on my way out of town. So I'm hoping that maybe they've replenished since then.
What other ones did you go to?
I was in Williston, so I went to the one in Williston.
Because I may pop down to the one in Bristol. If I see it there and they have it, I'll pick up a couple bottles. One for me and one for you.
Yeah. So. Let me know.
Okay.
Because then if I won't stop on the way home.
Okay.
But it's fine. I have a whole bottle of Bailey's. It's not like I'm gonna
It's not like
run
you're
out
not gonna
tonight.
And you have clearly a whole bottle of creme de menthe, so you're fine.
Right. Yes, that might be an interesting combo.
No.
Yeah.
Why? Okay.
Yeah.
We'll be fine.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. We should probably wrap this up because we have extended it a little bit, just chit-chatting some more with all of you. So
all the stories are sort of coming back to me.
I know, right? As you're like, oh, what day of the week is it? Where am I?
I can't believe it's already Sunday and there's only one more day.
Yeah, I know, right?
Could use another week off.
Yeah.
But
not gonna happen.
No, and I have a lot to do.
Yes. So thank you everybody for stopping by and hanging out with us. We hope, post holiday season, you're back in the grind or whatever, or taking a break or whatever the things you are doing. Here we are, 2024. So
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Here's to
a better year. Not that last year was terrible, but it was not. It had its moments. So
it did.
I think every year does now, but it doesn't mean we can't be optimistic going into the new year.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
So
lots of fun stuff to look forward to.
Yeah. We'll see everybody soon. Jen and I'll have to check our calendars and see if we can hit this again in a couple of weeks. We may be able to.
I think it's possible.
I think it is possible. So, we'll check back in. If we're, gone for 3 weeks, that's just work stuff's in the way.
I think we actually,
But I think we might be able to. So, okay.
All right, everybody.
We'll see everybody soon. Bye. Well, we had one for a while, and it only worked part of the time.
The clicker.
Yeah, the clicker. There was the whole series with the clicker where it wouldn't work, and then sometimes it would work, and it's just Apple is so weird with add-on things that aren't Apple products.
Yeah.
And it's just
and Apple products that are great, but then they go out of.
Well, or they upgrade, and they keep changing the ports and I have 4 different ports for my phone, the iPad, the watch has a different chart. It's just which is why I like the mag chargers at this point, because I can just drop. It doesn't matter. You just drop it on there and it charges.
Yeah.
The iPods, the phone, the watch, everything.
So how was your Christmas?
It was fine. It was pretty low key. The weather is garbage here.
Oh my god.
It is
just so miserable.
Terrible. I hate it. I hate it so much. I'm just gonna get this out in this part of
we have to talk about it because I'm just so damp.
So look, I grew up in the Pacific Northwest. I left the Pacific Northwest because of this weather. I hate it.
Yeah.
It's 40 degrees. It's rainy. It's cloudy. It's gray. It's foggy. It's miserable. It's damp. It's terrible. That's what it's been doing
and it's been
the
like
entire
that.
month of December and a little bit of November.
That's true. It has been a long time.
Yeah.
I had a moment of sunshine on Tuesday, the day after Christmas, when I drove to Maine.
Yeah.
I had a few minutes. I had to put my sunglasses on.
Yeah.
That was in between the bouts of incredibly dense fog and the rain.
Awful.
It was exciting 4 hours.
Well, and I have a lot of people ask me, they're like, well, but it's so cold out in Vermont normally. And aren't you cold when it's, 20 below? And I'm like, look, I would never been as cold as when I lived in the Pacific Northwest.
It's just damp.
That
damp,
wet, just bone chilling. That's where that phrase comes from. It's not 20 degree below zero Vermont weather.
It gets in your body.
It
though.
just, yeah, it's achy, nasty. I hate it.
I had a moment this morning where I was like,
hate
maybe I don't need as many colors for my temperature blanket this year as I thought I did, because maybe it won't be below 32.
It appears
Although
that,
it was technically 28 at my house when I left this morning. But
yeah,
still,
but it's just, I'm very crabby.
with a high of 35 and damp
Yeah,
coming.
it's,
Yeah.
why? Well, I mean, I know
Yeah.
we don't need to get off onto the tangent as to why we are here, but here we are.
Yeah.
So great.
Yeah. Ours was fairly
That's
quiet
fun.
Christmas.
Yeah.
And my niece, we made cookies on Saturday before Christmas.
Yeah.
And then I finished my Christmas shopping. A few little anecdotes that are funny.
Okay. I need funny. So
Yeah.
yes, please.
Well, maybe not hilarious funny, but like minutely amusing.
Okay.
So while we were making cookies, my sister said to me, "Do you remember?" We were reminiscing about all the years of making cookies. It's my mom, my sister, myself, and my niece. But we've always had this sort of tradition of making cookies with the women in the family.
Nice.
So my sister, we were reminiscing about years past, and my sister said, "Do you remember those creme de menthe bars that Nan used to make? So they're like the chocolate shortbready sort of bottom, and then a layer of green
Whatever. Creme de menthe.
and then a layer of ganache."
Did it have booze in it?
Oh yeah, yeah, of course. That's what made them green.
Yes.
This is the point of my story.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
so we thought, oh well. I said, well, I'm still going out. God knows, I have lots to do this afternoon to finish most of my Christmas shopping on the 22nd, 23rd.
good job.
The 23rd.
Good job.
It honestly went really well. I was kind of surprised. I was really dreading it.
I think everybody was out on the 22nd because I was out running errands on the
yeah.
22nd, and it was
there were people
it was
everywhere.
awful.
But I like to shop at the end because I don't always love it. Sometimes it's a little much, but I usually like it because decisions must be made quickly.
Right.
There's no like driving
no
to 14
hemming and
different
right.
stores trying to find the perfect
Right.
thing.
It's like,
You're like, I'm
and
going to
out.
this store and I'm buying these 6 things and
Yeah.
then I'm out.
yeah.
And so it actually is a little bit easier. And I
Streamlines
found
it.
everything
Yeah.
I wanted in like 3 different locations. I was expecting it to be 6, but
Amazing.
so that was awesome. But anyway, so I decided I was going to buy we discussed it and we said, well, we have a really low key Christmas day. There's not a lot of people coming. So we'll make these bars. So I go shopping and I thought I had creme de menthe at home, but honestly, I don't remember the last time I would have looked. It would be
Right.
way back.
Right.
And just in case, I wanted to be prepared.
Right.
So I go to the liquor store and I'm looking, ideally I was looking for nips because you need like
Right. You don't need very
quarter
much.
of a cup.
Right.
But no, they don't have those. And it turns out the creme de menthe is no longer green.
Oh no.
Apparently they've taken all the nasty dyes out.
Which I
Which I
that's-
understand.
Which is fine, I guess.
And so now it's
Like,
clear.
clear.
Yes.
Okay.
So I bought a bottle. It's a good sized bottle, unfortunately, but just to be sure. So then I go home, shop. I go home. And I thought, well, I'm just going to look. And of course, way
You
in the
have some,
back,
yeah.
I have a bottle with like this much of very dark green
Right.
creme de menthe. That bottle, the label, it might have been my grandmother's. I'm not 100% sure. It's
mean,
been in
it
there
is
for a
liquor,
while.
So it's,
No.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine. It was
fine.
very green. The bottle was sort of stained a little bit
Yeah.
at the bottom.
Wow.
So we used it, and I said to my sister, so now I have a huge bottle of creme de menthe that I don't really know what to do with. Any suggestions
We could
for
make
using it?
creme de menthe martinis
Oh, there
when we
we
have
go.
our
Right.
holiday party.
There we go. They won't be green.
They won't be green.
I
but
have to
that's
save
okay.
the green for the Christmas
Yeah.
treats for the next 3
Yeah.
years until we run out.
Well, you just have to do like some cake,
Food coloring,
food
of
coloring, or
course,
something,
but
gel food
anyway.
coloring in there. But
I feel like
it's
it won't be the same green, but
fine. It might. You'd be surprised.
No,
some of those
no.
gel.
we
gel
frost
ones.
our cookies, so I'm used to making
Yeah.
food coloring
Yeah.
mixes. So anyway, that was an entertaining little
Yeah.
story, and
So
it's
that's
just
the way it goes.
it's on the one hand, who wants to be poisoned with the green and yellow food dyes, but
Right.
it's sad that it's
Right.
not green anymore, right?
Now I really want a creme de menthe martini.
Those creme de menthe, they were very good, I will say
I
that,
know.
the little bars.
Okay.
So that was probably and then I got up the next day and speed cleaned the house, kind of, sort of, because it was such a mess, and I left to go to Maine on Tuesday, so I didn't leave here until like 1 o'clock.
I think those are actually called grasshopper martinis, but
Yes,
that's
they
fine.
are. Because my friend Kristen, who I saw in Maine, makes grasshopper
Yeah.
dessert with like
Yeah.
whipped cream and creme de menthe or something. I don't
Yeah.
know what's in it, but
I've had
Yes.
like creme de menthe pudding,
Mhm.
kind of like.
yes, I'm gonna look
or-
up all the recipes.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Yeah.
really delicious things you can do with that, and I always forget about it.
Yeah. Well, I have quite a bit, so if we
Okay.
need, if we need someone
I
has some.
know where to get some
That's right.
if I need it.
I have the green, which will be hoarded, and I have the
right,
clear,
the clear, which
which is
will be
yes,
given out
yes,
willy nilly.
yes. So
So we did for Christmas Day every year we roast a whole duck. Like that's a tradition we've started.
somehow in my head I thought it was a goose, but
Yeah, no, duck. We do duck.
Yeah.
Easier to find. Goose would be kind of. It's hard enough to find duck.
and
whole
big,
duck.
probably
And
big.
goose is big. Yeah. So we started doing that, and we got some complaining from the kids at one point, like wanting to change up the menu and do something different. And so we've started this tradition where we always do duck on Christmas, but Christmas Eve we do like kind of a rotating
Mhm.
menu or do different things. We've
Mhm.
done everything from like nachos to like homemade pizza to one year it was like German sausages and spätzle and like German potato salad. Like, so there's usually like some sort of theme
Mm-hmm.
to the meal. Last year it was venison and basically things we could cook on our cooktop because we had no power. So there was a
Mhm.
lot of discussions about how we were going to cook the duck the next day. The power didn't come back on, came back on, so it was
Christmas
fine.
miracle of 2022.
Right. There was some serious discussions about whether we could cook that duck on the barbecue, and I think that's what we were.
I'm sure you
gonna
would have
do.
been
I
able
think
to,
you could
right?
have.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of
I think
course.
it would have been fine. It
Right.
just would have been interesting, but it's
Mhm.
cool. So this year, after lots of
Crazy.
discussions and back and forth at the dinner
Negotiations.
table and negotiations, the theme was selected of street foods of the world.
Oh,
So that was the
Mhm.
actual theme. I didn't put, if you've seen the social media posts, I kind of left off the street foods because I wasn't
Yeah.
100% sure that all of those
Yeah.
were actual street
you
foods.
didn't really need the invitation to comment.
Right. I didn't need the pushback from anybody that like, oh, that's not technically a street food. Okay. Like, so we did that, and it was
quite delicious.
fun. It was a lot of work.
Yeah,
and
it's a lot of the appetizer thing. At first glance, you're like, well, how hard can this be? But then you're like, it's like a million ingredients because
Well, and
they all have like 12 in them. So,
So here's the thing that I did not fully think through when I suggested street foods. Things that are street foods or small bite plates like that are meant to be eaten basically as soon as they're prepared.
yeah,
Like there is no like let this rest for like
yeah, for half an hour. Right.
So
You have to
so the
stage
timing
cooking.
became a little
Yes.
interesting.
Yeah.
So we ended up doing it in batches. Like
Mhm.
here's all the appetizer
It was a
stuff.
day-long odyssey.
Yeah, it was like wow. And then like the two things that were like main dishes, we took a break because then I needed to finish
Yeah.
them, and then
Yeah.
and dessert was already prepared. Dessert was the one thing that like I could do in advance.
Right, there's some sort of like salad or something that could probably sit for a minute, but yeah.
Yeah, the salad ended up being like the Vietnamese spring rolls.
Mhm.
Because again, I was looking at the menu and I was like, we gotta have some vegetables in here. Like, this is crazy. What can I do?
Yes.
Oh, we can do spring rolls, and
Mhm.
so
It sounds like
Yeah.
it was good, and the kids were all into it. I could tell.
they
From
were
the
for the
pictures?
most
Yeah.
part. Yeah, there was definitely some new flavors for them.
Mm-hmm.
Surprisingly, not too many ingredients that I had to buy.
Mm.
We have a very well curated and well
Condiment
stocked
selections.
condiment selection, spice drawer. Like it's a little ridiculous at times,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I cook a
Yeah.
lot of foods from other places because
Mm.
I think it's important to introduce my kids to lots of different
Yeah.
flavors, profiles, and spice
Yeah.
profiles. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that I had a moment when I was in the middle of cooking that I was like, I might have bitten off more than I thought.
Next year
or
you'll
that I was
you'll
prepared
contemplate that a little bit more.
to
maybe one country dishes from.
did that, and we yes, yes. That's distinct.
You can go around the
possibility at
world
this
for the
point.
next 100 years. Choose
Right.
a different place each year.
Right. So that was fun. Interestingly enough, on like most of the lists I found about street foods of the world, the ones from the United States were clearly like dirty water dogs from like New York City. And I was like, yeah, we're just gonna leave the U.S. out of there. Like we're gonna have other stuff.
Well,
So-
or they're street carts from other countries that are on the corner in America.
Right.
Making their delicious
Right.
food.
That too. That too.
Right.
That was the first time that I had made homemade falafel.
Mm.
It wasn't bad. It was quite.
Yeah.
I might do that one again. Though my family was a little like. On the
The hard
fence
thing about
it.
falafel is that, it's fried, obviously.
Yeah, that was- yeah.
It's good on the one hand, but
It's
also
fried.
it also gets really crunchy sometimes when you.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have a hard time getting.
I think
the
mine were
texture
too.
just
I
right.
think mine were too big.
Yeah.
I think if I made them a little bit smaller, like it would
Yeah.
have been. But it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were fine. I think it needed more salt. Like that's sometimes
Mm-hmm.
gauging
Yeah.
things
You
is.
can always add salt.
No, I know.
It's better to not overdo it on the cooking side.
Yeah,
I
no,
find.
that's true. But with something like that you're deep frying, like it needs to be right in the little
Mhm.
ball. But anyway,
Yeah.
it was fine. It was fun. Tonight, I think, I don't know. William said it's New Year's Eve right now. It's Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Is going to do surf and turf.
Oh,
We picked up some stuff from the Shelburne Meat Market yesterday.
sounds delicious.
So I don't know.
I don't know what I'm having. I have to go to the store because there's really no food in my house.
He said he wanted to be in charge of dinner, so that means he'll be in there for 10 minutes and then I will do the rest. But I'm trying to be like, look, you said you want to do this.
That includes a multiple of dishes, not just
Right, and so he's
Just
supposed to
meat.
be sending me the grocery list for what he needs for the side dishes for his meal tonight. We'll see if it shows up or not. And then we'll see where I'm at as if I'm going to go just get some things so we have them, or if I'm going to be like, this is your deal, man.
Maybe you keep them in the car just to be sure that you would have a meal that you would enjoy tonight.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I'm going to stop at the liquor store and get some creme de menthe, so I'll be fine.
Yeah.
But-
So then,
Yeah.
so Tuesday I went to Maine.
Yeah.
This is a new thing. Usually my college friends come and stay with me, but for a variety of mostly aging parent reasons, they had other things they needed to do, and the timing got shifted around. So I went to Maine with my high school friends, and we rented a place in Portland, which was fun. And then we
Awesome.
went out. We all got there Tuesday at some point, and we went out to the island
nice.
where I go in the summer, and had lunch with one of the families that lives across the street. That they live there year round. They're like in their 80s. They're awesome. So we had bacon wrapped scallops and
Oh,
crab
nice.
dip and
Wow.
fresh from the sea. Maybe not exactly. The crab was probably put up in the summer, but it
Yeah.
had been fresh from the sea.
Right.
So that was lovely. And then we had a big walk on the beach,
Nice.
and it did not actually rain, which was
Amazing.
good because the next day it pretty much poured all day. But we were splitting up, and I went. My high school friends went off in their various ways, and then I went to visit my friend Kristen, who's a college friend who lives there.
Yep.
So we went to the museum for an hour or two,
Awesome.
and then we went home and did some puzzling, which is it's our Christmas tradition, is to
Nice.
do some puzzling. So not a
Awesome.
lot of knitting actually during that
Yeah.
whole time. You would have thought there would have been more, but I'll talk about that more, and you will have heard about that already by the time you watch this part. And then so I got home Friday night. So it's been kind of, there has not been. Yesterday was truly like stay in my house and do nothing all day. Not nothing. I did stuff,
Yeah.
but it was no chores, and it was definitely my first day to relax. And I
Yeah.
have to say, the day after Christmas should be a day, if not. But honestly, when my friends are coming, it's usually I get up and I'm running all day long
Yeah.
trying to get the house ready for people to stay. And
Yeah. I haven't
So-
had any of those downtime days at
yeah,
all because after Christmas, I was trying to manage kids being off on break and
Yeah.
still trying to do a little bit of work.
I was not
I'm
working, in
self-employed,
fairness,
so
so-
it's very challenging to just be like completely off. I tried my best, did not happen.
I skimmed my email and threw
Yeah.
things away. That was really all I did.
I just,
Yeah.
but you know, here we are, you know, trying to entertain children when the weather is garbage like
Yeah,
this.
you can't
and
go
you
skiing,
can't even
you can't
send them
go
outside to
outdoors.
go play in the snow. Like, it's
Yeah.
just, you know, you're stuck doing indoor stuff with everybody else. So, you know, the get-airs and the spare times and the, like, you know, they're usually crowded on break weeks anyway, but we're even more crowded because anybody who wants to ski or do that kind of outdoor stuff, it's not available because it's just...
Yeah. One thing that did happen, I think, since the last time we podcast, or maybe not, maybe it was that same day. No, I think it was. We had the crazy rainstorm.
And we had more flooding.
And more flooding. It's just been a wet year here in Vermont. And
awful.
Yeah.
So I mean, there was a whole group of people that were flooded in July and just got reflooded again in December. Like, they just have repaired and replaced everything.
And the snowpack melted, which didn't help. And
it was pretty wild. I mean, there was a road that I travel to get to work and that was closed for like 3 days.
We might have talked about this last time. Because I'm trying. Anyway, who knows? Yeah. Anyway.
Fun times. Fun times.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we'll have our New Year's Eve cast on tonight. So thanks for joining us if you joined us, because this won't post till Friday. It's a little weird. There's going to be a little bit of a delay.
It'll be fresh and new for the cast on people tonight when we repeat the stories we just told today.
Right? Exactly. So sorry if you've heard some of these twice.
It's okay. They won't hear them twice till next Friday.
That's true. If they're like me, they'll have forgotten them. Then they'll be.
It'll all be fresh and new all over again. Right.
It's exciting.
Yeah. I don't know what else has happened. It's just it was a crazy mad rush right up until. Yeah. Oh, here we go.
Oh, wow. They all went off. Wow.
Oh, God.
No, really?
Because it's just enough light to require blinking.
That's true.
It's weird that the front ones went on again.
They both came on when you walked that way. I don't know. I give up. I give up with the lights.
There are certainly times when it would be nice to be able to control them.
That's true. That is true.
But as
it is
we
what it
mentioned
is.
before, we cannot.
It
If I actually could figure out where the actual sensor was.
I want to say it's that, but I think that's a smoke detector.
No, the one closest to us is a smoke detector.
What
but
is the one
the little
right next
knob
to it?
next to it probably is.
I think that's the.
Because then that would make sense.
Is there another one?
There's one there.
In the middle. Yeah.
Anyway.
That's probably them.
But we're sitting right here in front of it.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we're not moving enough.
Apparently.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yay. Oh, and it looks like we have lights out that need to get.
Oh, I had mentioned it to Ariana right before Christmas. Oh, yeah. No, I swear those bulbs, they last about. In fairness, our lights are on pretty much all
the
day,
time.
almost every day. So. And they're fluorescents, they're not LEDs. So they're going to burn out. But
yes, they are.
So she has a list. That and the front door, over the front door, that light is out.
Oh, okay. Good. All right. Well, anyway.
A few little maintenance items to discuss. We'll take those offline.
Right. Yes, we will.
We should probably go.
We should go, yes, because we are going to butt up against the store opening. So.
And I have to do that.
We have to.
There's no one, and my point is there's no one coming in to open the store for us. So
it's Jen.
That would be me.
So. Yes. All right.
Okay.
Go.